Welcome traders to yet another educational video of Nifty Short Term View, episode number 33. Now we have the Nifty Futures chart in front of us. On the right hand side I have the daily time frame chart, and on the left hand side I have the hourly time frame chart. First we'll try to analyze what's visible to us in the daily time frame charts. Yesterday we had a massive selling happening in the markets where Nifty Futures tried to open somewhere around 17,100, 110, but the close was much lower than the open, which came around at 16,700 or probably just below than that. And this probably happened on the back of the surprise RBI rate hike which came. And after that, what we saw today was even more surprising. We saw after such a massive sell-off, Nifty Futures did open decently gap up, and it was trying to, test this particular support band. If you see and if you recollect this particular support band, this particular band was not allowing the markets to break since many days. And on the upper hand, we had this resistance band. So more or less, Nifty Futures was actually very much range bound. Any try to short the market or possibly even going long in the market was not working. So thankfully, at least that range has been broken now. But if you see properly, we are still at a decent trend line support, and similar sort of charts are visible in the Dow Jones as well. First, I'll try to show what is happening in the Dow Jones. And that is the reason actually why we did open massively gap up today. In the Dow Jones daily time frame chart, what we can see is we have a support which is holding on since March of 2020. And this bounce back has happened on an average of last 3 days, where we can see the lows are at 32,480 and yesterday's close came at 34,070. And similar sort of bounce did happen, but we were not successful in Nifty Futures. The reason was, after opening gap up, this particular band which was first providing support, now it is providing resistance to the market, which is called role reversal at play. We also have a trend line breakdown in the RSI, which we can see over here. But again, I always tell trend line breakdown in RSI surely suggests some sort of weakness coming up ahead also. But this particular weakness should not be taken into consideration until and unless we have some sort of confirmation from the price. And there is also one reason to have some sort of doubts in your mind, because what we can see over here is a complete full-fledged downtrend. And this particular bounce which happened today was not just taking support from this particular trend line and this 61.80% Fibonacci retracement of this entire uptrend, but also from a Fibonacci extension. And you can see similar lows over here. All right. So this bounce back has happened due to this particular Fibonacci extension. Now, if I convert this particular candlestick chart into a line chart, what we can see over here is that we do have a lower close. All right. We do have a lower close in line chart, and we do have a higher low in RSI. What is this? Is this a positive divergence? No, it is not a positive divergence, but it clearly means that the downside momentum of the market is getting waning. So we need a very strong selling pressure in the market to come forward and possibly break this particular support. Until and unless this support is not broken, we are open to any sort of bounce backs which possibly will get sold into. And we just don't want a 20 points close or a 10 points close below this particular trend line. We want a proper 1% close below this trend line. And once we see that sort of close happening, I think Nifty Futures could test somewhere around 16,400 and possibly somewhere even 16,225 or 200 levels, and probably even lower than that, because this particular trend line breakdown is not going to be a very small one. This is going to be a massive trend line breakdown. So probably markets will test over here and they might rest But what happens next, I'll keep on updating in my Nifty Short Term View videos. Now coming to the Bank Nifty future, we can see that the trend is clearly down. Price is trading below the moving averages. And even over here, we had a support band, which thankfully now has been broken, because overall Bank Nifty futures were completely choppy within this zone, and any try from any trader to go long or short was not working out. And thankfully, this range has been broken. We do have a similar sort of setup in the Bank Nifty future as well. You can see the first point tested over here, the second point, third point still seems to be tested. So the way the selling has been continuing, if you see, the similar sort of setup is also available in the hourly chart. And even over here, if I convert this particular line, the candlestick chart, into a line chart, we do have a lower low in price, but we do have a higher low in RSI. So again, this is not a positive divergence, but this does suggest that we do know, we require a very strong selling pressure for this sell-off to continue. And I guess this particular sell-off, if it continues, we could test somewhere around 34,750, 34,770. Somewhere over here we will find supports, because what will happen is this particular trend line, it will start inching higher, and this trend line support and the Fibonacci both will appear possibly at the same point of time. So we can see the Bank Nifty futures, which is currently trading at 35,192. If this sell-off continues, we might test 34,750. Then if we close below this particular trend line and this Fibonacci, then we could see even lower levels. All right. So I hope this video helps you in understanding how markets are going to pan out. Trade safely, trade wisely, and stay safe. Thank you.